Program may contain mature subject matter and coarse language. Viewer discretion is advised.
This next performer is from the USA, but he's here in Canada to try and make it in showbiz. So please welcome Mark James Heath.
Hey, peace. Winnipeg, it's great to be here. I am originally from Chicago. Me and my wife, we moved here. We had our kids here because it was free. Thank you. I appreciate that. Good on you as a country. We currently, we live in Toronto, and Toronto is great because, like, everybody in my neighborhood is an immigrant, you know, including me. Like, we all got there within the last, 50 years, you know? So it makes the racism nice and subtle. It's great. I go places now, I see people with overt racism, I'm just like, that's tacky. You gonna let that racism hang out? You're not even gonna tuck it in? That's how you're gonna do? But as soon as you come to another country, that's when you realize that you are like an ignorant American, that you're very uneducated about the rest of the world. I'm meeting people from all over the world. I like how I actually get to meet like Africans who are directly from Africa. I think that's such a cool thing. Like being from the States, you always feel like Africa, like you need a spaceship or a time machine to get to Africa. It's good to like meet people who are actually from there. All my friends at home, like their perception of what Africa is, they get from the American media. I'm like, the American media doesn't know about you. Like they got Chicago wrong. How you figure they got Nigeria all mapped out? It's probably not the case. So it's like when I first got here, I had a job at a call center, which I like to refer to as a phone plantation. Pretty much a phone plantation. I don't know if you ever worked at a call center, but it's a field of visible minorities doing menial work. Some manager walking up and down the aisles trying to make sure none of us are reading, you know what I mean? They even used the slavery metaphor one time. I'll never forget this. He was like, productivity is down, all right? We want you guys to work a little harder. We don't want to have to crack the whip. I was like, whoa. Hold on a second. All right. As an African American, I promised my mother I would never work near whips or crack. So, not been good for us as a people. Let's not do any more slavery metaphors, otherwise I might burn the building down. So, let's keep that in mind. Thank you. Oh, you're sweet. You're sweet people. But that's a big thing. Like, that's a big thing is like people asking me what my background is. Like, that's very common where I am right now. It's like, oh, what's your background? Where are you from? And I'm like, oh, I'm from the US. And they're like, but before that. And I'm just like, I don't really know. It was a secret. If you know and could tell me, that would be fantastic. And I went out to Halifax, and their situation is very similar. Like, if you're a Scotian black person, like, you're Canadian. Like, they've been there since, like, the 1600s. So I was excited. Like, I went to their, like, civil rights museum that they have, and I was, like, looking at all this history, and I was like, man, this is amazing. Hey, was there ever, like, a Ku Klux Klan in Halifax? Did they ever have that? And the guy looked at me and was like, no, we had some local groups, but we never had, like, a national group like that in Canada. And I think that is a very Canadian thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, clap it up for that. Very Canadian thing. Much too laid back of a country for that. Like, I can't see two Canadian guys sitting around like, hey, buddy, you want to put on white sheets and chase around black people? Nah, I might spill my beer, eh? And anyways, I'm exhausted after what we did to the Aboriginal people. Ugh. I'm pooped. All tuckered out. Only one genocide in me, I'm afraid. Let's just watch some corner gas or something. But to be fair, though, be fair, it's way too windy in Halifax to be running around in sheets. You can't really pull that off. You know what I mean? Being the Klan in Halifax, you need like a toque and earmuffs. You can't intimidate black people in earmuffs. It's not possible. Be standing out in front of a black person's house. Get out here, boy. Actually, we're gonna come in there. It's freezing. Turn on the baseboard heater. I'm Mark James Heath. Thank you, guys.
Lebanese-Canadian Dave Merhej is up next, here on the Winnipeg Comedy Festival.